Welcome to Milan Recording Studios. My name is James Pavel Shawcross, and in today's video I wanted to make a video that was brought to you by one of my followers. My last video that I made about the gram weights and how to tell when the action of your instrument is performing as it should be was requested by one of my followers, and this video also was requested by a follower. This video was inspired by a comment that someone asked, where they asked, what is the difference in sound between a piano when the lid is closed, when it is halfway open, and when it is all the way open? So in today's video, I figured I would help answer that. Of course, there will be a difference in tone, and so today we will explore what that difference in tone is. For this video, I'll be recording the piano a bit differently than I usually do, and I'll be using this mic that I brought out of storage here at Milan Recording Studios. We have a wide selection of microphones here at the studio. Many of them are actually the same type of mic that I use for the drums. This here is one of them that doesn't want to come out of the box. There we go. This here is one of them that we don't use all that often, but it is still a really, really fantastic microphone. This is a Neumann or Neumann TLM 103, and it's kind of like a mid-priced Neumann microphone. They're very famous for having some of the best quality microphones that money can buy. I believe the U47 and the U67 were some of those microphones that were truly legendary. Those, however, were made in the 50s and 60s, and they actually had tubes inside of them, so they had this really warm analog sound that many people desire. However, those microphones are very pricey, and it's also difficult to find the exact right one that we would be looking for. We still are on the lookout for one of them, but for now, this microphone is still quite nice. So as I said, this is a TLM 103, and I figured I'd just kind of show you a little bit of the behind the scenes here. This is what's inside of the box, and this, of course, is the microphone itself. Pretty basic design, and that is the microphone we will be using. For this test, what we're going to do is set the mic on a stand about, I think it's going to be around 3 or 4 feet from the piano to kind of simulate somebody standing and listening to the piano. So that is going to be the test, and what that means is also it's going to be affected by the lid closing and opening. A lot of other mic positions that people might want to use might not be affected by the lid being open or closed, or at least not as much. But in today's video, since that is the point of the video, we want to purposely mic the piano so that when we close the lid, it has a drastic effect on the sound, or at least it should, because when you're playing the piano, there is a large effect, and the microphone should be picking that up. So let me go mount this microphone. I won't be using a shock mount today because I don't really think that we need one. There won't be anybody walking on the floor, and the floor here in Studio A is a very, very solid floor that really doesn't transmit vibrations very well. And of course, we won't need a pop filter because nobody will be singing into the microphone. We're recording the piano. So let's go set this up, and then I will see you at the piano, and we will check out how this sounds. So here is the mic setup that I was describing to you. I decided to move it about 18 inches away from the piano rather than 3 feet. So what we have here, as you can see, the mic is over there. Now, if you asked 50 different people the way they would record a piano, every single one of them would give you a different answer, so you'd have 50 different answers. But this is the way I'm going to be recording the piano today. The reason I'm recording it this way, as I said earlier, is so that it can actually capture the effect of the lid being closed. Sometimes in footage of recording studios, you'll see that the lid of the piano is mostly closed, and they have blankets over it to prevent it from the sound from escaping, and then they have mics inside to make sure that the piano is nice and bright. But that isn't my intent today. I want to capture that difference in sound when you close the lid versus when you have it open. So what I'm going to be doing today is playing a test piece that I always play in my videos. It's kind of the middle section of Debussy's Clair de Lune. I play this all the time, first of all because it's beautiful, second of all because the internet seems to like it, and third of all because it's really an amazing test piece for the piano, and I'll probably keep playing it for a very long time. It uses practically the full register of the piano. It requires a good piano with a good action and a good sounds to really make it sound its fullest, and so that's what I'm going to be playing in this test. Especially pay attention to the treble. I think that is going to be the area that may be most affected, as well as perhaps the lower bass notes that I play in this passage, but particularly the treble will be affected. So pay attention to how that sounds in this clip, and then pay attention to how it sounds as we lower the lid. So I'm going to start off with it in its uppermost position, which is how I always record my personal piano and any piano that I typically run across. But then after this, we will start lowering it and see how the sound changes. I hope you enjoy. So what I'm hearing when I play that with the lid all the way open is the typical sound of my personal piano. It's got that bright, clean, crisp sound that I really enjoy in this region. It's got a bright, sparkly treble and a rich sounding bass. When I play this, this is the exact sound I always hear when I play the piano, and nothing is changed from usual. So that's hopefully everything that came through in the recording as well. You heard that the treble up here was nice and delicate, very sparkly, very clean, very easy to identify each and every note that was being played. The bass, I think, would be pretty full sounding, and overall it would sound pretty much as my piano always does. Now let me close the lid to the second position and see what changes, if anything. Now let's play that same exact passage and see what changes in the sound. From the player's perspective, not a whole lot changed because a lot of the sound is still coming out towards me. As you can see, I have the music desk off, so a lot of the sound is still able to come directly back towards me. The microphone, however, may sound a little bit more muffled because not as much of the sound is able to come out of that side, so some of it may be forced out this way, or it may be being channeled out through a smaller size of area, so it may be changing the sound. Now what I'm going to do is lower the lid all the way, close this front flap, and then you will really hear a difference. So let's hear how it sounds with the piano completely closed up. I think it was actually a little bit easier to play it with the lid closed than with the lid open either midway or all the way, because I'm trying to play it very quietly, and with the lid closed you can certainly hear a difference. The piano itself is quieter. Therefore I have to work a little bit less to make the piano quiet, so I can actually play it a little bit louder and have it still be at the same volume, and therefore it becomes easier to actually play the piece. But as you can see here, this is why in performances the lid is always up, because it takes so much of the soul of the piano away when you have the lid completely closed. It almost sounds like we just took a filter and just completely edited out all of the high partials of the piano, because that's kind of what the lid is doing, especially up here in the treble, right in this region. This whole octave right here sounds very muffled and very dull compared to when the lid is open. This region of the piano is very bright, sparkly, and wonderful when the lid is open. But with it closed, all those high partials are being filtered out, and the volume of the piano overall is much lower than usual. So that's why you can actually play the piano louder and have it not be as loud as it was before when I was trying my hardest to play it as quiet as I could. So that is what the piano sounds like with the lid all the way closed. Kind of an interesting experiment, but it's definitely a lot quieter than normal. That's why a lot of the times in a recording studio, like I said earlier, you'll have the piano with the lid mostly or all the way closed, but with the mic still inside so that it sounds normal through the recording, but so that it's not drowning out everyone else in the ensemble, because a concert grand piano has a massive amount of power, and sometimes it can be difficult to control it. For those of you who have stuck around to the very end of this video, I have a special treat for you, and I'm now going to do something I've never done before, which is basically the exact thing I just mentioned. I'm going to open up the lid again to its second position, where it's open just a little bit, and then stick the mic inside the piano and see what happens, and see what it sounds like. So I've set up the mic. What I've done is I've basically just put it smack in the middle of the soundboard, right in between the treble strings and the bass strings, and we will see what it sounds. Of course, there's a million different places you can put the mic inside of the piano, and someday I will explore that in more detail. But today, just for fun, I thought I would put it inside there in the middle and see how it sounds. Let me know what you think. Before listening to it, I imagined that the sound of the dampers going up and down is probably going to be a bit louder than usual in my videos since the mic is only a few inches away. But of course, that is what that sounded like with the mic sitting inside of the piano, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Later on, I think I will come back to this topic and work more on different ways that you can mic the piano, and I think someday in the future that will be a whole new video. But if any of you guys have any other ideas of things I can do in my videos, let me know, of video topics that you think might be interesting to yourself and also possibly to the rest of the fan base. Some of you guys have come up with some really amazing ideas, and I'm really curious to hear what some of your other ideas might be. So by all means, let me know what you guys think I should do more videos on in the future, and if I can do so, I will. Not everything will be able to be done because there's a lot of things that I'm working on, and some I already do, of course, have some ideas for videos planned, but if there's anything that you guys suggest that I think will make a good video, I will do my very best to try and make that happen. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this interesting video that was kind of brought to you by one of my followers. If any of you guys liked what I just did in this video, you might want to go check out my channel if you're new. I've got lots of cool videos of pianos, organs, keyboards, digital pianos, and all kinds of neat stuff as well. So if any of that sounds cool, you might want to go check out my channel. And if you want to subscribe, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.